The Virtual Grip Network and the Bootleg Racing League welcome you to the final race in the history of the Grand National Series presented by Gargamel's Kitchen. Tonight, we head to Florida, to New Smyrna Speedway, to crown a champion in what has been a busy season. My name's Justin Prince. Alongside me in the booth tonight once more is Marty Sakala. Filling in this evening is our producer, David Christie. To start things off, the last race had some fireworks, to say the very least. But it's worth noting that has seen some adjustments to the standings entering tonight, Marty, because after a further review for the second time in series history, there was an adjustment to the official results, and that meant that the results were reverted to the previous lap before the incident between our championship favorites, Matthew Thunhorst and J.R. Shepard. That means what could have been a double-digit gap coming into tonight, Marty, is still within reach for either driver to win it.
Yeah, absolutely, JP. It got really crazy at Irwindale Speedway. If you missed it last week, Matthew Thunhorst and J.R. Shepard were racing really hard for a position, and after further review, race control deemed that Thunhorst got into Shepard and turned him before the white flag. Scoring was pretty much reverted to the previous lap, so that what it meant was Shepard finished third, Thunhorst goes down to fourth. The championship battle is now down to 3 markers entering tonight's race.
It's going to be very tight, going to be very pressure-filled, to say the very least. Drivers are currently in the midst of their final practice to prepare for tonight's action here at New Smyrna Speedway. And to start things off when it comes to this virtual racetrack, it's been the championship host for BRL's Grand National Series as well as its other Saturday night action for the past couple seasons, and it's very fitting because a lot of history has taken place in the history of said series, but tonight, it's time for the final chapter before the page turns over to a new one with the super late models, Marty.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been fun watching the ARC cars race around these short traditional ovals here. And going back to the roots with the super late model is going to be a lot of fun. New Smyrna has always been a fun place to crown a champion. I know you've done this series a lot more than I have, so you definitely know the history well. Of course, last season, J.R. Shepard taking the win and the championship.
And of course, J.R. Shepard won just about all the championships in this history of the series. But now there's a chance for a different champion for just the 4th time overall. Let's take a look at the track details here at this facility about just under half a mile nearby to Daytona Beach, Florida. And it's a track where usually during the winter time, all the way up through January and February, some of the best make their way to this racetrack, Marty. And some of the biggest names have made their names known here at this speedway in the past.
Absolutely, of course. For those that know, this track is, of course, the home of the World Series of Asphalt, which is pretty much the short track version of Daytona Speed Weeks, the great way to kick off the year on the pavement for short tracks. Of course, home to the Arca Menard East Series when they begin the season. Of course, Sammy Smith won this year's opening race. Sam Mayer took the win in 2020. Look where he's gone. He's an Xfinity Series driver. Then you've got Daniel Suarez, Todd Gilliland, who's won twice. They're both racing Cup cars.
It's put on some successful racing, too, in the BRL Grand National Series over its years. Here's a look at the championship, and as we just described, 3 points the separation between Thunhorst and Shepard. Morden has already clinched 3rd spot of the standings. Austin Belke has clinched 4th. 5th is up for grabs, though. Look at the tie between Adam Shane and Ruben Altis. A late season surge for Altis, some late season struggles for Shane.
And when you think of it as well, Shane definitely has had a tough season as well. The one race that really has helped propel him up to the 5th position in points was Martinsville, where he pretty much led 98 laps of the 100 laps we had in this feature, and then finished 2nd to J.R. Shepard. Ruben Altis, always watch him closely. You never know where he's going to finish, if he saves tires to finish up towards the front, or if he goes out early but could run to the back if he's in a couple of accidents, but you never know. It's going to be a fun battle to watch this position wind out.
It's worth noting, too, that 2-hour championships were crowned tonight in BRL competition. Those being for late models as well as the Tour Modifieds. J.R. Shepard won both of those championships by around 100 plus points apiece. Much tighter in Grand National Series competition this year in the title fight. But that also means the pressure is going to be high for the drivers, and it shouldn't be a surprise to see your top two drivers in the points being the top two drivers in final practice on the board. 18.487 for Matthew Thunhorst leads all drivers. J.R. Shepard, an 18.523, is in second. So that's something you have to consider with how these drivers are showing their pace.
Absolutely, and Thunhorst is really hungry for a win here at New Smyrna, because let's remember last season, he couldn't commit to the championship race, which pretty much ended his hopes for finishing as the top dog. J.R. Shepard ended his season right with clinching the championship and the race victory. So these two are going to go at it right now on the starting lineup. They will be starting from the 5th and 6th positions, respectively, in Thunhorst and Shepard. So starting from row 3, low line normally the place to go here at New Smyrna, but that groove above can sometimes be a factor as well with the 20 degrees of banking we have.
It's been great on the short run in that regard, Marty, absolutely. But it's been also seen where it could be difficult to pass here. It's a driver's challenge track, so to speak, where if you can get to somebody's outside, we've seen several times in the past, if you keep it up high without lighting your tires up, you can pinch a driver down and force them to check up underneath you, which allows you to make the pass. That's been the constant theme with this Arca Menards machine for the past couple seasons, in fact, where drivers have been finding it more and more optimal to do that rather than try and dive it to the inside and hope that sticks.
And something to add as well, these Arca Menards series cars, the previous generation, they're really easy to spin out. And this is a track that we have seen in the past few years where drivers can gas it up a little bit too early on the right foot and loop the car around. And that's even going to be a big thing when we go super late model racing next season. So it's going to be a really tough track for the drivers to handle, especially when the tires start to get worn.
Right on board with some of the drivers in the final moments of practice. It's worth noting, too, with this being the final race of the season, two different drivers are getting themselves some opportunities, Marty, to show what they can do. The two drivers to keep an eye on that will be new to competition this season at this level. The number 28 of Michael Goodman, he's 4th on the board for 8-Ball Motorsports with an 18.5. And towards the bottom half of the board is Michael Smith. His 73 is in the 18.7s in regards to pace currently. Those two drivers, their first starts of the year.
Yeah, they're just pretty much getting a hands-on fresher on getting ready for next season. I know it's completely different cars, but they're just trying to get used to the competition in the field. Just see, you know, how well can they drive against like the mid-pack drivers or maybe the front-pack drivers. How do they race? Do they go clean? Are they aggressive normally? That will be an interesting question to see what happens in this race, and what will they learn from the season finale towards next season.
And remember, the super late model, much more different in terms of how you drive in terms of where you lift off, how much downforce there is even, if you use the brakes, how much brakes you end up using. All those are much more different for the future, but that's something to think about as the race goes on tonight and after the conclusion of this one. Marty, your keys to trying to win the championship tonight if you are your two favorites, Shepard and Thunhorst. Oh, by the way, J.R. Shepard's now top of the board by 1/1000th.
Boy, you really put me on the spot right there, Justin, with that question. If I am both of them, I'd say at pretty much the same keys we've been saying all season long. You know, save your tires coming to the second half of the race. You're starting on row number 3. I think there's going to be a lot of pressure happening up in the front of the field. This is a track where you want to be patient. I know the drivers are going to try and race as hard as they can, especially Thunhorst and Shepard, because they're battling for the championship. And maybe in the final lap or so, do they put all the respect out the window? How bad do you want this championship? If you want it, you have to come and get it, especially if you're J.R. Shepard, who was 3 points behind coming on in. He's going to have to go hard, I believe, earlier than Thunhorst.
And it's important to note that for J.R. Shepard, it could be a difficult hill to climb because not only does he need to outscore Matthew Thunhorst tonight, he will likely need to win because if they end up tied in points by the end of the night, the first tiebreaker wins in the season. Matthew Thunhorst, the season leader, coming in. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for the final race in the history of the Grand National Series. On the pole tonight is Ruben Altis, as he had a very fierce battle for the final inversion spot with Jason Menda and company. Menda starts second. Kenny Kibbe, who has a chance to finish top 5 of the points. The former champion starts third. With the attendance, Matthew Thunhorst moves up to 4th. J.R. Shepard critically moves up to 5th position. So Thunhorst now starts top. Shepard starts bottom. Justin Morden and Joe Sagan will round up the inversion spots. Tim Shanowski's in 8th. Adam Shane starts in 9th. And Todd Liston, your top 10.
Ryan Seneca, James Lowe, they make up row number 6. Lowe trying to recover after a rough week he had last week at Irwindale. Kurt Smith, Michael Goodman, they make up row 7. Donnie Moore, Steven Spees, row 8. Michael Smith, John Hine, they make up row number 9. And Mike Allen, Chris Davis round out the field in row 10. I believe this is the highest car count we have had this season, Justin.
One of the highest, if not the highest, absolutely. We've had about 20 once or twice overall the past year plus. But I take time to remind you that this series is presented by Gargamel's Kitchen, a food-grade nitrous oxide provider located in Denver, Colorado, and a proud sponsor of the Bootleg Racing League. Our office at 2045 South Valentia Street. McCall at 720-707-6178. Real quickly, Marty, final thoughts for the final race of the year.
Well, it's been a fun season to watch, especially between J.R. Shepard and Thunhorst. It's the perfect battle to go down here in New Smyrna. 3 points. You know, the past few weeks we've seen someone win, someone get a 4th place finish. Will it happen once again? I don't know. There's been a lot of trends in this series. It's going to come down to the wire, and it's about to go down.
iRacing pace car is on for the final time in the Grand National Series' history. We're underway from Florida.
Altis heads them down to the turn number 1. Mender, though, gets right up to the door, just like the key you talked about earlier, Justin. Drivers can try and go high and try and get the low line to check up, but a bad entry by Menda goes up 2 grooves, double file amongst the top 6. Altis takes the first lap.
Still a fierce battle for the race lead. Thunhorst pressurizing Menda from behind. Of note, Mike Allen did not make it to the start. 19 cars running. Thunhorst gets turned. Contact with Kenny Kibbe. He gets hit by Seneca, and the points leader entering tonight is everybody on the back foot with the caution.
Wow. I don't know what to say. As we take a look, as we'll get a replay here, stand by, but things just got crazy, and it's only lap number 2. You're watching Seneca on the screen, and this is going to be the aftermath of when he got hit, of when he hit Thunhorst. Got the quarter panel there. Keep in mind, one quick repair for all the drivers, so Thunhorst not out of it yet, but it's going to be a lot of fighting if he's going to want to get up there. And because of how far back he is, he's going to be using up a lot more tires to try and get to the front. Here's how he got spun. I think he just came down on Kibbe, it looked like, and rear-ended the wall, Justin.
May have been some inter-assisted contact in the mix too, but Thunhorst has to get repairs done already, takes the fast repair, and just like that, the whole championship has been flipped upside down. We're not even to lap 5 yet. Thunhorst would not win the championship with where he's running now. Shepard is now in the catbird seat as a result, still in 4th.
Live points at the moment, it would be an 11-point lead for J.R. Shepard at the moment. We've yet to see any of the 2 drivers finish outside the top 10 yet this season. So, you know, ironically, Justin, I just thought of this. You know, Formula 1 begins their season this Sunday, and, you know, there was a notable moment last season when on lap 1, Hamilton and Verstappen got together and Verstappen crashed. Is there an ironic moment here, possibly?
Maybe. I don't think Matthew Thunhorst is thinking about that. He's thinking,
yeah, I know.
It's not going to be easy for him to go back to the field with still 94 laps to work with.
Absolutely.
This is not the track where you want to start at the back. One to go.
Real quick, I do want to mention there was a little net code between Kibbe and Thunhorst as I watched the replay a little bit more, but as we get ready to go back to green. Shepard now restarting in 4th position on the top side. But Menda, I believe, leading his first laps of the season, will bring him back to green.
He's led 4, most of them under caution now, as well as with the drag race. Back underway, Menda clear. Kenny Kibbe dives his way to the bottom of the battle for 2nd. J.R. Shepard trying to figure out how to get past Ruben Altis, meanwhile, up top.
Altis with the outbreak on Kibbe entering turn 3. Shepard, though, still stuck on the top shelf as Menda continues to lead and we're under caution. And
Kurt Smith.
That's Kurt Smith, yeah.
Kurt Smith spins out coming out of turn 4 with the help of Matthew Thunhorst. And we're under caution as Matthew Thunhorst and his championship hopes. Remember, he's been in the conversation the past few seasons, has not been able to make the finale due to various reasons in the past, and now, the time he does make it for the championship run, he has been tested a lot already.
Absolutely, and as we look at the replay, the big question I'm going to have right there, you just saw it, that one bam that came from Seneca. That was a nice little lick to the rear bumper. I did see a little bit of paint scuffs before the iRacing update on the damage, but now Thunderous is just ticking laps off right now in 17th. And, you know, I don't know whose fault it is. If Thunderous was just completely faster, didn't expect Kurt Smith to stay off the gas that late. I'm not too sure, but right now, not looking good for Matthew Thunderous at the moment.
So Kurt Smith is coming down to the pit lane after all the contact to his left side door. We'll see if he takes the fast repair. It's been a rough season for Kurt Smith where when he's had track position, he has had to battle to try and keep it. He has taken the manual damage repair in the number 6 currently and staying in the car. But with 90 laps to go, Jason Menda still the race leader, but now it's Kenny Kibbe who has a chance to battle for the race lead. And we just talked about a moment ago, Kenny Kibbe's fast. He hasn't made every race, yes, Marty. But he's somebody that, despite that, could finish as high as 5th by the end of the night in the standings for the one-time series champion.
Yeah, absolutely always a threat to watch closely in this series. I don't think Kibbe has won a race since last season when he led all 100 at the Martinsville Speedway. But now he's restarting to outside of Jason Menda. And it's all going to come down to this restart, I think. If Kibbe gets the lead off of Menda, and we know Kibbe's always a fast car to watch out for in these races, Kibbe could try and blow away from this pack. Who knows?
For those wondering, again to reiterate, Austin Belke has already clinched the 4th position at a 27-point advantage over that tie for 5th. Austin Belke not here tonight, yes, but the most points that can be scored on the night now is around 20. And that would not be enough to jump one more spot up. Drivers looking to battle and jump their way to the race lead now. Menda inside, Kibbe outside, followed by Altis and Morden, Shepard and Janowski. Then it's Shane and Lowe, the top 8. Green flag is out, back underway we go.
Ooh.
And Ruben Altis with tire spin already.
Yep, absolutely. Got way loose off of turn 4. Made a nice save. Justin Morton trying to take advantage for 3rd. Before the lead, Kibbe up on the door. He's got the lead halfway down the back straightaway. But a better entry for Menda. I think he may have outbroke Kibbe there, entering the corner. And at the stripe, new leader, Kenny Kibbe.
Kibbe that time just getting the edge for the lead lap. Menda not getting the rotation he needs on the bottom. Justin Morton now gets to the quarter panel with a 45 as well. Top line starting to become the line to pass. Looking for Kenny Kibbe as he's clear at the flag stand.
Absolutely. Now Justin Moore has to get battle trouble. Todd Liston has spun it off of turn number 4. No caution. We stay green. He was below the yellow line in the grass, so iRacing did not call a yellow flag.
Adam Shea nearly also spinning off turn 2. Held it together though.
Menda.
Jason Menda has spun for the next caution. And Jason Menda's 45 will lose some spots with our 3rd yellow already here from New Smyrna.
So this is, I think, how the night's going to go, isn't it, Justin? My goodness.
You never know. Sometimes
Absolutely.
you have calm races with maybe no cautions or one. Or in some cases with this track, you may get what we've seen, the trends of yellows. And right here you see,
Just got too much up to the door of Justin Moore, and the air got to the 45 and looped it. I'll give him credit for keeping that off the wall. Nice 360 save. And that puts him to the rear at the moment in 17th. Real quick, an update on Thunhurst. Currently in 13th. Now, I think real quick with Thunhurst, these yellows are maybe actually helping him with these short runs at the moment because he doesn't have to use a lot of tires and the spins are all happening in front of him. So he's just taking drivers off one by one at the moment. However, though, still 10 positions behind J.R. Shepherd at the moment.
You know what else that also is indicating too when you consider that, Marty?
What are you thinking?
Well, remember, the best place to get a pass done, the restarts. And everyone's bunched together, so that helps Thunhorse too, not just with the tires, but everyone close together to be able to get those good launches to make passes immediately.
Absolutely, and that's something that we have definitely known Thunhurst for all season, those restarts. However, though, he's not really been in a situation a lot this season. I mean, obviously he has been, I should say, correction. But there haven't been really, obviously there haven't been a lot of situations where he's had to start in mid-pack and has had to just wait for the drivers in front of him to avoid leading to a major checkup and a wreck on the restart. So we're getting set to go back to green.
So now, Kenny Kibbe and Justin Morton are on the front row, followed by J.R. Shepherd, Jim Shanelski having a stellar run up to 4th already. Ruben Altis has been shuffled to 5th on the restarts. Shane's in 6th. Lowe and Moore, the top 8. James Lowe, a one-time champion in Grand National Series competition. Green flags back out, back to racing. Kenny Kibbe tries to go for a bit of a later arc. Justin Morton keeps the quarter panel, though, to the edge of the 14.
Looked like a little tire spin from Morton on the restart, but what we have known on these restarts so far tonight, the high side is the place to be. Justin Morton could not get up to the quarter panel. Actually, he is up to the door. Kibbe leads.
And Morton knows that importance of pinching down the 14. A big bobble off the corner.
Yellow.
Caution is out again at the back, and it involves
Big
some of
one.
the newcomers. Michael Smith, Ryan Seneker, Todd Liston, Kurt Smith, all in vicinity there for the caution as Todd Liston continues to have problems, unfortunately, for him tonight.
Matthew Thunhurst was on the outside of that and was able to miss the wreck. Here's what went down in 1 and 2. Actually, all right, here's what happened. Lowe just got to the back bumper of Ruben Altis, and the low line just stacked up. There was Seneker. There's Liston, the 45 of Menda. That's a normal short track wreck for you. I see it a lot when it comes to when I cover the NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour when they're in Western and Central New York. But that's just a normal short track situation like there that you just hate to see.
Ruben Altis now pulling off into the pit lane. He was still amongst the top 8. And he's elected to put his car into the pit box. We'll see situation maybe for the 11 machine. Yeah, I think just elected to get a quick adjustment of some sorts in the pit lane. Remember, no tire sets in the pit lane, but you can potentially add fuel maybe for the weight balance. Let's take a look at Altis, who is just in front of all that. Well, that's why.
And you see as well, Thunhurst missed that accident, and then we just had a traffic jam at A1A, pretty much. That's what went down there. But going back, Matthew Thunhurst, 10th position now. Misses the big one that we just had, a restart on the outside. And again, these yellows are what he wants to see, especially if it's happening in front of him. He can close in on J.R. Shepherd. And again, bunches the field up for this restart. So he'll be currently, I want to say 3 or 4 rows behind J.R. Shepherd when we come back to green.
Approaching the quarter way through. Keep in mind that J.R. Shepherd needs to score about 3-4 spots ahead of Thunhorst to win the championship tonight. With where Matthew Thunhorst is right now, he can do it.
Yep.
But the tough part's going to be that if Thunhorst continues to be able to gain spots, J.R. Shepherd would need to essentially find his way at least to the race lead to have a true shot.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Real quick, live points are 6 at the moment, not 4.
Back underway, Kenny Kibbe to the race lead. Justin Morton shuffles his way to second, and a better restart there for Kibbe.
Absolutely. First time we've seen the inside line work. Shepard looked to the inside on Morton to try and pick up second position. That, though, did not work. Stays nip tuck in third. Adam Shane inside. He's got fourth over Shinosky.
Shinosky's continuing to try and figure things out in fifth spot. Side-by-side battles include Matthew Thunhorst, who is still in the fight for 8th, 9th on back. Here's the look from the back bumper of the race leader. Kippy trying to build himself some distance for the first time. It's one of our longest runs of the night so far, and Kippy leads by 3/10.
I'm so glad you said that. Thank goodness, longest run of the night. The series has been known for a lot of long runs this season with the field scrambling throughout the tracks this season. Top three got a nice train at the moment. I think at the moment for the drivers is just follow the leader at the moment. Just be patient. Try and pressure your opponent into a mistake. The restarts are really where all the drivers like to make passes, but J.R. Shepard putting a lot of pressure on Justin Morton for second position.
Thunhorst now up to the 8th spot. Meanwhile, here's a look to the battle for second as referred to. And you see that difference in line J.R. Shepard's trying to use. He's tried this several times at different tracks, Marty, with varying levels of success. Diamond the corner, try and get himself a run from the bottom on corner exit. He has just a 2-point cushion at the moment where he stands.
Absolutely, and Shepard, you just made that point. Shepard's been really known for diamonding the corners all season long. He's been very good at with trouble. Chris Davis.
Once again, under yellow, it's the number 7 this time involved in this one. And our longest run of the race is now up to 5. As a result of the yellow quickly approaching the halfway mark, he was in a battle with Joe Segawa before clipping the apron, it seemed, Marty, to trigger this caution. Here's a look.
Absolutely. This is where he just wheel hopped it entering turn 1 and just lost it all by himself in a solo car spin. There's nothing really else to say about that. Another car got sideways. I think that was Goodman in the 28 it was. That made a nice save in it. But there's nothing really else to say in all that except wheel hop entering 1.
And the reason Goodman had such a big wobble and was getting so loose was trying to avoid Davis just in case Davis stayed on the racing line and he actually bounced off of J. Mendes' door. That means Goodman is using a fast repair under this caution. Thunhorst is up to 7th as a result of the yellow flag as well, so he'll start inside once again. Right along behind Donnie Moore and Tim Shanowski this time, and right next to Steven Speeds.
Points lead down to 1 at the moment. So again, cautions breeding cautions, what Thunhorst is liking right now.
Allows him the chance to regroup and continue to pick the drivers off one by one. Remember, though, he's already used the fast repair. If he's involved in any major incidents from this point, that could spark trouble for his championship hopes from that point on.
Absolutely, got to be really careful on that side of things. Thunhorst will restart on the inside. He's 2 rows behind Shepard. So at this point, I'd say, just go for it. Just follow the same pace that J.R. Shepard's going. Thunhorst knows here. He's faster than Donnie Moore. He's faster than Tim Shanowski. And he's faster, I believe, than Adam Shane. So I think Thunhorst could catch up to J.R. Shepard, especially if we get a long run going. That's over 10 laps.
We'll see if we get that here so far. Caution flags have red caution flags all throughout the evening so far. Now it's the matter of what happens with 65 to go. This series in its history. Kibbe, Morton, Shepard, Shane, Janowski, Moore, the top 6 for the green. iRacing pace cars off. We're back underway from New Smyrna.
Another great restart by Kibbe. He's been really good at those all season long as everyone on that inside line, still Shepard and Thunhorst. Thunhorst still in the 7th position. Battle for the lead though on.
Morton was able to keep it to the high side, to the quarter panel of Kibbe. Can that help him rip away the lead? He does lead it at the stripe this time. So Justin Morton, the new race leader. Kibbe stuck on the bottom, trouble behind again. John Hine has collected Joe Segawa. Kurt Smith also collides, and we're back under yellow again.
Man, oh man. Big one once again. Big one part 2, and I guess you could say tonight that corner's been Calamity Corner. Here's what went down. I think this is another wheel hop from the 21 of the Professor and John Hine. Zagallo, nowhere to go. Pretty much everyone that was 2x2 in that situation had nowhere to go. It was just a chain reaction of some sort of things.
You see John Hine on top of things, spinning to the bottom, and then trying to move the wall back about 3 feet to turn around before he goes into reverse. But again, the reason that most drivers were collected there was the quarter panel hitting that side door of the 81. But we're back in our yellow again, and another new race leader on the night. Some of the most lead changes we've seen on the season, 4 different leaders in less than 40 laps. Kibbe, Mendham, Morton, and Altis.
That's actually a great point you just made with all the lead changes we've had off of the restarts. Justin Morton, I believe, looking for his 2nd win of the season, if I recall correctly. He's had a good year so far. You know, coming on into the evening, the points, he was in 3rd, way back, obviously. Just about 25 back, I want to say.
Still out of the range for the championship, to correct you. He's still looking for his first, actually.
Wow,
the official
okay.
mark. He's come close a couple times, remember. But
yes,
this season has not been able to break through for victory lane in Grand National Series competition. The different winners were Thunhorse with 5, Shepard with 4. Austin Belke also picked up a victory in the middle of the season as well. So with 60... Go ahead.
Yeah. So Thunhorse currently in the 7th position, didn't pick up anything really. Remember, if he picks up one more position, Shepard is still in 3rd. It would be a tiebreaker. Remember, the tiebreaker, as you mentioned, would come down to wins. Thunhorse has 5, like you said.
So 59 laps to go when the green flag flies once more. Shepard lines up 3rd. Thunhorse lines up 7th. Morton looking to control the race lead meanwhile. Try and end off the year with a victory. Kibbe has also yet to win this year. He's finished 3rd much of the campaign on the starts he's made. Green flag's back out. Off to racing once more, and Morton with a picture-perfect start.
Absolutely there, as Shepard stuck side by side with Shane, the 3rd position. I think that may have been his best restart in the process. And remember, the outside line has been very good off of the restarts, but Shepard dives it in a little bit deep at the moment, and he's got 3rd over Adam Shane.
I really liked what I seen there too, Marty, with how much J.R. Shepard was able to stick the bottom and carry it without over-rotating. That's got him clear, but guess who's up top? It's Matthew Thunhorst, who looks to move up not 1, but maybe 2 spots. Donnie Moore gets passed by the 8. Tim Shanowski up next.
I can't believe it. Matthew Thunhorst currently is in a situation to win this championship, but right now he's got Shanowski and Shane in front of him. Worked that outside line perfectly. This time Shanowski goes up top shelf. Thunhorst could get a nice drive here off of turn number 4. Thunhorst by a bumper at the line.
Thunhorst looking to move his way fully ahead now, back in the standings. Shanowski.
Oh, trouble.
Going to be in front of him in the scoring loop with a caution at the back once again. And this time it involves Ryan Seneca in the Virtual Grip Network machine. And I'll say this, 2.5 wide does not work usually at a short track.
And I think I'll say
that was after Liston got loose. Here's the 2.5 wide.
Yeah, no way on earth that will work. I know it's not intentional, but I will say, in the words of Landon Castle, the first rule of stock car racing is learn to wreck someone without wrecking yourself. That's all I'll say there.
Well, keep in mind, Todd Liston, for his credit there, was very squirrely coming off the corner there.
That is true, yeah. Yeah, no offense to any of them at all. I'm just having a little bit of fun. But yeah, you cannot fit 2.5 cars in there at all. And so that's what brings out our 7th yellow. That's the most, I believe that's the most yellows we have had all season long.
Up there for sure. And cautions on average had actually gone down this season. Why not finish it up with a bang, is the best way to put it. By the way, John Hine has taken a pit stop this caution flag after his incidents earlier. Thunhorst, as we said, scored behind Shanowski, but he's on the outside, which has been rolling lately.
Yeah, you said that high side's been working out well. Thunhurst restarting in the 6th spot. Watch this really closely. Now, remember what happened at the start. Thunhurst restarted in 4th. Shepard restarted in the 5th position. Excuse me, started in the 5th position. And Thunhurst was able to get the outside line working for himself until he got turned by Kenny Kibbe.
It is the green flag waits at the other side of this lap. By the way, that number you mentioned with the 7 cautions, there were 7 at Southern National earlier this season. That ties that mark for the most cautions since the midway portion of the season. Irwindale had 6. So the cautions have been building up in the past couple weeks. But with the championship in the balance, 51 laps to go, Grand National Series before changing things over to late model action. Pace car is off, green flag is out. Morton another great launch. JR Shepard catches the outside sleeping. Shepard for 2nd, looks to move past the 14.
This is huge. This would I believe would put Shepard in the championship lead unless Thunhurst gets to 5th. Shinosky trying to fight him back. But Shepard looking to clear for 2nd. More importantly, that's too close to call for the runner-up spot as we're halfway home.
Shepard not backing down though. Thunhurst is keeping up and keeping up quickly. Trying the outside to find his way into 4th position, Adam Shane. Pressurizing him for the bottom side. Here's a look at the side by side. And the scoring loop goes to Kibbe, but the caution again is at the back, and it's a massive one.
Big one, part 3, low on his roof. Smith, Goodman, Zeneker, and many more.
And that may be one of the biggest incidents of the season. Let's
take
it
a is.
Quick look. We haven't seen anyone on their side.
I'll tell you this, I've seen a car go airborne this season at SNMP, but there was a big brake check there. And then watch the 99 of James Lowe. He gets pummeled by Segala, actually. He gets the one that gets pummeled by the 73 of Goodman. And that looked like he was about to go on his noggin right there. But instead, back on all 4 wheels and great camera work from iRacing on the onboard. Landed on all 4 wheels. A lot of quick repairs are going out like it's the new iPhone at a local Apple store. Quick repairs, get your quick repairs here.
I thought that was a major city. Either way, Kurt Smith once again came in for some repairs as he was in the midst of that incident. Everyone else staying out who was involved in that, including the 99 James Lowe, because why not? But we're just past halfway, and Shepard staying in 3rd, but it's Thunhurst who is on his back bumper for the restart.
As of right now, Thunhurst currently has the championship lead only by 1 point.
It's very slim, those margins, to say the least. Again, if you're Shepard, you have to go, Marty. You have to pass somebody.
Absolutely. This is time because you know Thunhurst is on your rear end. We've got 45 laps to go. If you want it, it's now time to go get it. It's pretty much crunch time for Shepard. Now or never, you got to drive as hard as you can on this restart. He's been doing really good diamonding those corners. I think we're going to see a lot here on this restart.
45 laps to go. As the green flag waves once more, back underway. Another good launch from Morton. Better launch, though, from Kibbe. As Kibbe tries it up top, Morton clipped the apron. Side by side for the race lead again.
Kibbe should have the advantage entering turn 3 because of the Morton mishap. Now let's see what Shepard does in this battle. Slams the door in front of Thunhurst as well. Kibbe's got the banking off of 4. Can't lead it, though. Morton continues to lead as he sends it into 1. Big send.
Really trying to hold on to this lead and then some, but Morton can't get the power down on the exit. Shepard still runs bottom. Thunhurst all over his back bumper. Morton watches Kibbe nearly knock the wall down as he retakes the lead, fully clear into turn 1.
That got oh so close, but Morton, nope, he can't clear just yet. Kibbe drove it so much better on the top in that exit, using 20 degrees of banking to his advantage. Kibbe almost lost it entering turn number 3. They're going at it for the top spot. Kibbe got loose off of 4.
One of the best races of the year, even with that mark, seeing the most cautions of the season. Kibbe clear again for the race lead down the back. And I think J.R. Shepherd's picking up that he needs to go. He needs to win this race for him to have a shot with the tiebreaker possibility, Marty.
If I'm J.R. Shepherd at this point, honestly, I don't care. It's the final race of the season. I'm racing for a championship. There's got to be a big aggressive move you got to make here for J.R. Shepherd as we're coming to 40 to go. There's a battle for the lead in front of you. If you want it, you got to go and get it. Because 3 positions, maybe even 2 positions, they won't even mean a darn thing, but Shepherd loses it.
Shepherd tried to send it high for the battle for second, nearly spun it out. Now it's Matthew Thunhorst on his quarter panel for the battle. Shepherd keeps the battle going for second, though. Morton losing ground along with Shepherd as Kibbe leads with the largest margin of the race, more than half a second.
And if that was a big aggressive move last lap for J.R. Shepherd, I would not blame him at all, but may have been too aggressive there where we couldn't control the car. Shepherd, though, still looking for second position. This is where Thunderhurst, I think, is in a better position because how much tires did J.R. Shepherd use up when he was trying to save that race car? Probably a lot more than running it.
Caution flag is out, and Thunhorst starting in 3rd spot now with the scoring loops likely. It's down the back. It's Michael Smith, who had repairs. Thought about last caution. He spins on his own and collects 2 others with him.
Taking a look at this real quick, Shepherd is currently 2nd. Thunhorst is 3rd. And I think that's how they're going to be towards the pace car on their heads-up displays.
Here's a look once more. The incident's just up the road. 73 spins it. And then Ryan Seneca
Nowhere to go.
defines his luck tonight, unfortunately, Marty.
Absolutely. I'm trying to think of a pun related to virtual grip, but I got nothing. Bad luck Seneca tonight, that's for sure.
Donnie Moore now done for the night. He's parked his number 26 machine. The point where he sped in the pit lane at more than 60 miles an hour. So his night is done. Ryan Seneca also entering the pit lane currently. He just took a fast repair to fix his machine. 18 cars left running here. And the championship rivals are 2 and 3 on the track. Thunhorst right where he needs to be, though, in regards to points, Marty, when you think about those margins.
I just cannot believe how this race is going for Matthew Thunderhurst so far tonight. If we had a long run, this would be over. J.R. Shepherd would have had the championship win of the bag. But because we're seeing all these cautions, tires are being saved up, Thunderhurst is missing all these wrecks, Matthew Thunderhurst is in championship contending mode at the moment. This could be right now the craziest comeback in only one race.
Could be up there. But we'll see with 34 to go this time around. Still lights on top of the pace car currently. Kibbe the race leader. Shepherd needs to get a win to have the chance of the first tiebreaker, as he has one less win than Matthew Thunhorst entering the night. Thunhorst himself is in 3rd. Morning's now in 4th with the scoring loop. Shanowski, Shane, Spies, and Menda the top 8 in the final race in Grand National Series competition before its transition to super late models. 33 laps to go for the restart. Who will win the final race in the series and of the season? Let's find out with the iRacing pace car dropping off. Green flags back out.
Shepherd, I think, had the best restart on the outside that we've seen from anyone on the outer row all day today. Now remember, he's been good at diamonding the corners, but it's going to be tough to do so because he will likely have Thunhorst on his bottom. Couldn't clear down low that time, though, and he nearly knocked the wall down like you said earlier.
Remember, this is the type of racetrack where here at New Smyrna, it's actually a bit wider on corner exit. They jetted the walls out towards turn 4 in particular to be able to set up those runs like we've seen tonight. Shepherd couldn't get the job done to keep it side by side for the lead, though.
And that 20 degrees of banking shows you why this is a fun track, especially of the exits. The 20 degrees of banking is actually the highest amount of banking we have in any track that we've run in the Bootleg Racing League Grand National schedule.
Single file for the top drivers now. In fact, it's a choo-choo train for the first time in a while. All the way back to the end of the top 10. The first side-by-side is for 12th for reference. Kurt Smith and Michael Goodman. Here's the look for the back bumper of Shepard. Look at the speeds. This is in kilometers per hour. For reference, that is currently about 75 miles an hour in corner apex. Down the straightaways, he's reaching upwards of 120 miles an hour, around 170 plus kilometers.
Gunhorse closing in. Now, I don't think we've yet to see J.R. Shepard on this run diamond the corner just yet. As he enters all the way down low. So I think for Shepard at the moment, he is just being patient. I think, he's expecting a long run at the moment, and he's going to try and diamond and try and put pressure on Kibbe when the time is right.
And remember, the art of saving tires is, well, an art form, where your line on entry, apex, exit, that's all critical to think about on how you save the tire. You enter the corner flatter, that could potentially burn up your tires that little bit more on the right front. You try and run, say, at a wall, or up towards the wall at some of the racetracks. It can burn your right rear tire. At others, it can be the right front, depending on the circuit. You need to know it from a track-to-track basis, what works and what doesn't work.
Yeah, we got to remember as well, Shepard has probably used up more tires than probably either Kibbe or Thunder. So remember, he had that big moment in turns 1 and 2 where he was being aggressive and almost spun the car. It got really tight entering the center of 1 and 2. Made a lucky save. It may have used up the right front, though, which is always you need to have it pretty much every time this year.
25 laps to go on the season, coming down to 24 meanwhile. Of note, the final inversion spot in the series for its history is being held right now by Steven Spies, who is up 8 spots for his initial starting position. And got to keep an eye on those entries in particular, Marty, with how hard this could be for J.R. Shepard to sort things out to try and get a chance at this race lead, knowing how critical this lead is for him now.
Thinking of this as well, based off the tiebreaker order, you got to remember it's number of wins of the season. If Shepard wins, it would be even at 5. Then it's top 5s and top 10s, which I would assume both of them have been even of that all year, and as well as top 15s. And then there is the current season average finish caution, the Smiths.
Kurt and Michael Smith end up meeting each other. This time around, it's because a little bit of assisted help from Chris Davis in his number 7 machine, the Lone Star Racing car, with a lot more dents to his front bumper from this.
That's just the bump and get out of my way, pretty much, as we say. That's pretty much the bump and dump, I would say. And then you see the Smiths meet together. Ironically, I just looked this up because of this incident. There is actually a comedy series called The Smiths. So, I don't know what's it on, but that's probably on the next episode.
Well, it's also a rock band, funnily enough, that was formed in England in Manchester in 1982 as well, for reference. There's a lot of Smiths, and a lot of D. Smiths in particular. For reference, they were together for 5 years, for those curious. Meanwhile, under 20 laps to go, and remember, as we talked about, the next era for this type of racing, for the Bootleg Racing League, this time of the evenings, is super late model action, Marty. That is about a week or so away.
Yeah, and I don't think we've got... Yeah, actually, we do have the schedule here for next season, so let's take a look at that at the moment as we look here. Next week, we begin the season at the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. Then every week throughout April, every Saturday throughout April, it's in this order: Hickory, Stafford, Five Flags, North Wilkesboro, and Southern National Motorsports Park. In May, we've got the Bull Ring at Las Vegas, Lanier, Martinsville, and then we're off for Memorial Day weekend. In June, Langley and Myrtle Beach will be the final 2 races of the summer season. The spring season, excuse me.
Yes. And keep in mind as well, when it comes to that rotation of races, some of the different things BRL's trying. How about a Classic Cup Series being rotated in and out with this Street Stock Series making a return to the asphalt schedules.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. You know, this is where the iRacing roots began, obviously. When you're in rookie class, you begin on the street stocks and iRacing, and they're going to be a lot of fun to watch. I think the one I look forward to when it comes to these tracks, just looking here once again, I'd have to give it to probably North Wilkesboro. That's a lot of fun to race on a street stock.
One to go once again, 16 laps to go of the series. As Kenny Gibby, J.R. Shepard, Matthew Thunhorst, Justin Moore in the top 4. Thunhorst looking to end the season and the series as a champion. He's in position to do so right now, as long as he holds on to his positions. iRacing pace car is off again. Green flag's out, back on her way. J.R. Shepard keeps it to the quarter panel towards turn 1. Here comes the late break. Shepard trying to keep it rounding up the top. It could be close. Kibby couldn't slam the door.
He is there. Shepard looking for the race lead pretty much right now in a must-win situation. Thunhorst trying to rock it on the bottom. Nothing there. Still Kibby at the line. Shepard's got the run. Kibby, though, tries to outbrake Shepard, which he does, but a bad center of the corner.
Under 15 laps to go for the series now. J.R. Shepard looking for the race lead. Kibby looking to hold on the bottom side. A pinch again for the 98. Good corner exit again from Shepard. He nearly knocks the wall down. That time by at the stripe, it was Kibby with the lead lap. But who will lead towards the final lap? Shepard with the pole down the back.
The stakes are high all around. He is up to the front valence. Off of 4, the 20 degrees of banking, helping for Shepard. Trouble with Ruben Altis as he's gone around along with the 81 of Joe Segala. And we're under caution once again. Oh boy.
And we'll see what the scoring loops say. J.R. Shepard is your race leader at the time of caution. Kibby second, Thunhorst third. And that could be a pivotal timing of this. Let's take a look now at this.
I think this happens in front of Seneca.
Correct.
And it does. It was Altis and Liston that got Segala and Altis that got sideways. And Seneca's in there with nowhere to go. Altis doing a little Tokyo drifting into pit lane, and then they meet together to try and, I would assume for quick repairs, but probably there's not a lot of quick repairs left in stock. Here's what it looked like in real time.
They actually did have their fast repairs available, but you see, similar to what we've seen before, the second time Segala had contact from a driver getting loose below with the quarter panel spinning him.
Yeah, absolutely. Another wheel hop situation where the guy just got loose entering turn 3, and that actually lasted the entire corner here. So now we focus on here. We're in the single digits. This likely will be our final restart of the race as we approach the single digits, excuse me. And likely will be our final restart, unless we have another huge wreck that happens. I think, remember, 5 laps to go is the limit, because if a yellow flag flies, I believe that will be the race.
10 laps to go that time by, and again, J.R. Shepard might need a little bit of luck with Matthew Thunhorst being within bumper-to-bumper range, to say the least, in terms of those points. Even with the win, unless Thunhorst slips back a spot, it wouldn't be enough.
Absolutely. I think Thunhorst would still have the tiebreaker via the average finish, so...
Possibly, yes, absolutely. That's a huge point to think about, too.
Because when you think about it, remember when we were talking about it late in the season when Thunhorst had won and Shepard had those 2 4th-place finishes? You go the next week. What happens? Shepard won, Thunhorst 4th, and then the stuff got a little cycled through where Thunhorst was 4th and Shepard was 3rd. So just think a little bit about that.
For no return here at this racetrack is around 5 laps to go. Could this be the final restart of the season and in this series? iRacing pace car ready to make its way to this pit lane. Some drivers already rubbing. J.R. Shepard's on the gas. Green flag is out. 8 laps to go.
Got to go as early as possible to try and win this championship. Now Thunhorst to the inside. better corner compared to Kibbe, especially in the center, but Kibbe drives away with those 20 degrees of banking to his advantage and slams the door on Thunhurst. Thunhurst still with the championship lead by 1 point.
Thunhurst trying to block multiple lines. Justin Morton trying to hold off several drivers. Nearly got turned off turn 2. Adam Shane, Tim Shanelski were those two. That's in the backdrop. Here's the look from the race leader still. J.R. Shepard trying to run away with 6 to go.
Getting crazy now. What does Kibbe do with J.R. Shepard? I think he's just going to respect him because, you know, Shepard's in a championship situation at the moment. But I don't know. I think Kibbe wants to go for this win. He's trying the outside, but we know Shepard. He's been so much better on that low line. Kibbe tried to do the Shepard maneuver and diamond the corner.
Kibbe trying the high side again. Trying to use that diamond. Trying to get that run. Can't get there. Past the point of no return. Next flag ends the race. Top 4 have now pulled away from the rest of the pack. Now 4 laps to go in the season.
Down to a car length last time by. Kibbe was faster. Actually, no, Shepard was faster by 0.06 of a second, so he's still there. Thunhurst in third, minding his own business. And that's the race.
Ryan Seneker spinning in the pit lane. No caution, though. We stay green. 3 to go. Now in the season.
Last time by, Shepard over 1/10 faster than Kibbe. I think Shepard's driving away with his 5th win of the season. Now watch third closely. Morton is closing in on Thunhurst. Remember, if Morton gets third, the points are tied.
Will Morton dare try and make the move is the question, though, with under 2 laps to go. Shepard looking to close out the era with another victory. Thunhurst looking to close the era as its champion. White flag is out, final lap from New Smyrna.
And this looks like this is all Shepard's. Half-second lead off of turn 2. Justin, take the season home.
J.R. Shepard has been one of the most dominant drivers in the history of this campaign and this series. He's won multiple times in multiple championships. He'll win one more time here at New Smyrna. But it's Matthew Thunhurst who will get the hardware. He is your final champion in Grand National Series history.
What a comeback and what a day for Matthew Thunhurst. He'll have to take a relaxing breath after that. Spun in the first yellow. Cautions breeding yellows all in front of him, what he wanted. Got back up in the top 5 in the second half of the race. And got the championship, just barely. As Shepard celebrates with the win, though.
So J.R. Shepard gets to burn it down in his fashion. Always likes to go and burn it around in one donut around the banking in 1 and 2. This is the longest burnout celebration I've seen him have, though, trying to make it to his signature stop in the pit box. On victory lane, rather, on the front stretch.
Well, guess what? He should just burn that sucker down because they won't need these things anymore for a while. Nope, he's just going to park it.
And also in J.R. Shepard's signature style. As let's take a look at the unofficial race results. Again, with things standing the way they are, it would be Thunhurst winning the championship by a singular point over J.R. Shepard. Despite Shepard tying in race victories, it's still Thunhurst with the advantage in the standings unofficially. Kenny Kibbe finishes as the sandwich in the meat in them. You can flip those words as well as Rao. Justin Morton, Tim Shanelski in 4th and 5th. Adam Shane and Steven Spies 6th and 7th, with Jason Menda in 8th. James Lowe. John Hyde, a good recovery for him, Marty. Finished in 10th after several spins.
I believe that is John Hines' best finish on the year. Michael Goodman, 11th. Todd Liston, 12th. Kurt Smith, 13th. Joe Segala, 14th. Ruben Altis, 15th. Michael Smith, 16th. He was the last car on the lead lap. Chris Davis, 17th. Ryan Seneker out of the race in 18th, along with Donnie Moore, 19th. Mike Allen did not start the race.
That's all top to bottom at your running order for tonight's action. We'll take a quick break. Post-race coverage coming up right after this. You're watching the Virtual Grip Network, iRacing's virtual New Smyrna Speedway in New Smyrna, Florida. Welcome back to the Virtual Grip Network and its coverage of the Bootleg Racing League's Grand National Series presented by Gargamel's Kitchen, as it's time to head over to post-race action. History has been made for the final time in Grand National Series competition before the page turns over to super late models. After coming close for the past couple campaigns, one driver was able to come away with the championship by one single point. And it's a driver who's had many battles to make his way to this point. At number 8, Matthew Thunhorst is your champion. He finishes third on the pylon for the final race of the campaign to make his way into tonight's broadcast booth. Matthew Thunhorst, you are a BRL champion. How does it feel?
I don't know, you got some Pepto-Bismol? I basically got heartburn and nothing but basically want to throw up after that race.
Yeah, I was about to say it was a roller coaster for you to get into position to win this title. Spinning in the opening laps, what was going through your head when that happened and you were going to 19th as a result?
Well, basically, it was like, well, thank God I got the faster pair, because I know Ryan said he had a little trouble trying to get down because they were all packed up down there, and I got killed, and I went, oh no. So I was like, okay, get the faster pair, and then when I had the incident with Kurt, I was just like, oh, okay, we're just going to go down the drain here, and and then I just was able to pick off positions, and I probably had a heart attack when the big one happened, and I probably lost some left door pain on that one, so... Yeah, I mean, I burned my stuff up getting back to third, which, that's all I needed to do. But, yeah, I never want to have another race like this again because, like I said, I spent half the race either worrying or wanting to throw up or just like, oh, God, what's going to happen next? So, yeah, I'm happy that we're on the backside of this one now.
Well, again, on the bright side, and we just got official confirmation, you are the champion by 1 point. And knowing how close you've been the past couple seasons, and the past couple seasons just not working out, seeing time-wise, schedule-wise. How does it now, Matt, feel knowing you finally got the title in what is essentially the final campaign for the Grand National Series car before it moves to super late models for this slot?
I mean, it's nice, but, I've just kind of been down to the dumps after what happened last week and kind of everything going on around with that. And so it's kind of hauls it out a little bit, but kind of the goal tonight is just do well enough to where, no matter what, someone could say, oh, you only beat JR because you wrecked him, and so did that, won it regardless, got wrecked myself, so, but it's good though, it's just, I don't know, it's been an up and down kind of season, so finish it off strong. It's a good feeling.
Anyone you want to thank for being a part of the championship season?
Yeah, just, low on the league, it's good racing every Saturday night, and doing it with Gargamel's Kitchen sponsoring us is definitely pleasant, and it's glad to have their support for this season, and I think they've signed on for next one as well, so,
Yep.
And just you all at Virtual Grip for broadcasting us, it's kind of special, and also need to give a special shout out to Austin and Justin for putting up with all my dad jokes, bad puns, and all the other goofiness I give them in TeamSpeak, so, yeah, just thanks kind of to everybody involved in that, and just be glad you all don't have to hear my dad jokes.
Well, thank you very much, Matt, and enjoy making more dad jokes as a champion.
Thanks, Justin.
Matthew Thunhorst coming away with the championship, third spot overall. Second spot of the night went to Kenny Kibbe, one step shy of closing out the year in victory lane. He's with Marty.
Kenny, it was a great run for you tonight. Just want to ask, just what more did you need to catch up to J.R. Shepherd in those final runs?
Not really more, just less. We needed less cautions. I felt really good when we were out in front and had track position. I could just kind of run my own pace, which seemed plenty fast enough to win. But yeah, those restarts, I wasn't great on restarts, and that kind of bit us. But at the end there, yeah, chasing after JR, I really started to be aggressive on the throttle, and I spun the tires way too many times there in the first few laps of that last restart, and that kind of ended our night. But so maybe if I wouldn't have spun my tires, I could have had something for him. But it was going to be really hard to pass. And yeah, we could have used some more green flag laps, and I think we would have been golden.
That yellow that came out when it came down to the immediate moment of caution. You scored in second. Shepard's got the lead. Just what are you thinking inside the car?
Well, the only good thing at this place is that second place actually does have a chance at making up the spot and getting the lead back at New Smyrna. But I would rather still control the pace on the restart and do all that. So it's frustrating when you lose it by just a few inches or a few feet or whatever. But it is what it is. Everybody's got to deal with the same thing. So I at least knew I had another chance because I was able to get the lead back on a restart earlier. But JR is so good at restarts. You have to be dang near perfect to get by him or even have a chance. And I just could not quite get up next to him on that restart, and it was kind of the end there.
What do you want to give shout-outs to on your season tonight?
Yeah, just everybody at the Bootleg Racing League. Another awesome season here on Saturday nights. It's been a lot of fun. You guys at Virtual Grip Network for the broadcast. Congratulations to JR for winning 2 championships, and then I believe Matt Thunhorst won the championship in this one. So congrats to them guys, and everybody likes to ride on board and watch with me on Saturday nights. It's a lot of fun, and we'll look forward to switching cars and seeing what we can do in the super lates.
Well, congratulations on your great second place finish and a great season.
Thanks.
Kenny Kibbe finishing in second, Justin.
Strong run for Kenny Kibbe indeed, but it was J.R. Shepard who closed out the Grand National Series era with another victory. And to correct Kenny Kibbe there, J.R. Shepard's won a vast majority of the titles in this series, but this season, J.R., 1 point shy. How are you feeling? Winning the race, but not the title?
The same way I did after the first race of the season. When we won Nashville, that was one of those bucket list races that I wanted to win, and I said anything after that would be successful, and it still is. So, yeah, very hard-fought season for sure. But being able to win the last race in the Grand National car is extremely cool. So was glad that I was able to get up there and be able to do that tonight.
And talk us through how the battle was from your perspective, knowing Thunhorst was involved in some trouble early, which put you in the catbird seat for much of the night for the championship if you could make your way up front and if Thunhorst couldn't.
Nah, I've been in enough of these races to know everybody's strengths and how these races will play out. So when you have an issue that early in the race and you've got that much speed and that much of an I rating, you're going to have no problem picking guys off coming back through the field. So I knew that wasn't a big deal and that he'd come back. So all you can do in those situations is just worry about yourself and try to have fun racing.
Well, you finished the Grand National Series as its all-time leader in championships, victories by a wide margin, as well as the amount of times I believe you started in 8th position in terms of the invert. Your thoughts on what you can do in a super late model compared to what you did with this Arc Menard Chevrolet National Impala?
Yeah, late models are going to be different for sure. I think you're probably going to see a different group of guys be strong in those cars just because of their driving styles. Those cars are extremely tricky as far as what I've ran in the past. It's very easy to wear your tires out in the cars and not know that you're doing it, which in these cars are the exact opposite. You can tell when you're burning them up. So, yeah, I think you're going to see a little bit of a changing of the guard maybe there just with the guys that are up front each and every week. But, it should be fun to watch for sure for everybody that tunes in.
On that note, JR, who would you like to thank for being along with you throughout the Grand National Series and its history throughout all 9 campaigns?
Yeah, just appreciate the Bootleg Racing League for giving us a great place to race. A lot of guys run each and every race on Friday and Saturday nights, and it's fun spending time with those guys. So appreciate that. Thank you to the Virtual Grip Network for everything that you guys have done, and to Gargamel's Kitchen for being a great title sponsor the past several seasons and coming back next season too. So it's extremely cool, and thankful to Different Path Motorsports for being that, and having the most wins this season is pretty cool.
Indeed, a strong run with you, and keep in mind that statistic is the combined with Austin Belkey, with you two combined with 6. Congratulations.
Thank you, Justin.
J.R. Shepard closes out the era where he started with another victory. I'd like to take the time to quickly ask, first of all, Marty, your final thoughts on the Grand National Series. An era has come to a close, and it's Matthew Thunhorst who finishes it as his champion.
What a season, what a battle we saw between J.R. Shepard and Matthew Thunhorst. A great way to close this era of ARCA Grand National Series competition. We're definitely going to miss these beasts of the Gen 4 vehicles, but we've got a lot coming up here with the super late models. They love the short tracks with the SLMs, and I think you're going to see a lot of great things that will be happening this spring. We'll also want to mention, Justin, it's been a lot of fun working with you this season. Unfortunately, due to my racing schedule this summer, I will not be in the booth with you, but I want to wish you and Taylor all the best this spring, and it's been a lot of fun working with you, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you got in the future, and I hope you and I can work again sometime.
Absolutely, and it's unfortunate to hear that indeed. But again, time, you never know when you can meet each other once more. We like to take the time to remind you that this series, as well as its follow-up, is brought to you by Gargamel's Kitchen, a food-grade nitrous oxide provider located in Denver, Colorado, and a proud sponsor of the Bootleg Racing League. Visit their office at 2045 South Valentia Street, or give them a call at 720-707-6178. As talked about, the next time this slot will have BRL action will be when it's with the super late models, and that is in 1 week's time at a track very well known for its late model action, Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. Coverage starts 8:55 p.m. Eastern Time here on the Virtual Grip Network. The next time the network will be live as well will be on Tuesday, March the 22nd, when it is the Pretty Good Racing League's Premier Series. Heading to Circuit of the Americas. Fasten your seatbelts, because it's about to get very rocky at a very gigantic road course. Again, 8:50 p.m. You can catch that action. But with that, we'd like to thank you for being along for the ride in the Grand National Series era for the Bootleg Racing League. For my broadcast partner and Marty Sakawa, for tonight's producer and David Christie, my name's Justin Prince saying so long. Enjoy the rest of your evening and your weekend. This has been a production of the Virtual Grip Network. Congratulations to Matthew Thunhorst, your Season 9 champion.